Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. I hope that all of you are having an awesome start to your week. I hope you're all healthy, staying strong, staying ambitious. This is an IELTS speaking part 2 class today. It's the cue card, the long part of the speaking section. And this cue card is going to focus on a place that is near you that is a part of nature. So like, for example, a park. Okay? We will talk with our IELTS students today. Welcome, Lamia. Got a little bit of a frog in my throat. Just give me a moment. There we go. That's better. Okay, everybody. So again, speaking part 2 today, cue card. We will go through it step by step. I will give you strategies on what you need to do to get those high band scores. There are some very, very clear steps for the cue card, especially when you're talking about a place. This lesson, everyone, is brought to you by AEHelp.com. For academic IELTS success, visit us there. For the general IELTS, visit us at IELTShelp.com. On both of those websites, we have a lot of tools to help you improve your English, your communication, and score higher on your IELTS exam. Welcome, Zarina and Rashika. Everybody, this is a members chat class. Of course, you're welcome to watch. We will have an all chat class coming up in a couple hours that will be speaking part 3, and it will continue from speaking part 2. We will use our websites today for speaking, for both speaking part 2 and speaking part 3. This is our academic IELTS website. This is the website that we will use today. It has a chat interface so I can call students and talk to students. To join our website, click this big red button. And it's a one-time payment for lifetime access, and it doesn't cost a lot. We are IDP and British Council partners, and I am a certified British Council agent, so you are in very good hands learning for the IELTS. For the general IELTS, make sure that if you're taking the general version of the exam, you go to this website at IELTShelp.com and you click that big red button there. And we do have a new discount code for you today, and this is actually coming from our latest video that we just released onto YouTube 30 minutes ago. This discount code, you use the coupon code, it's Fluent9. We're promoting fluency in the IELTS speaking because to get those high band scores, you have to be fluent. It's literally the band score descriptor for band 6. So if you're getting a band 6 or higher, you have to be fluent. Band 6 means that you're a fluent user of the English language, and this is a very special code. It's limited to 500 people or applications, and it gives you a 25% discount. Fluent9. The brand new video that we just released on YouTube, I'm going to put the link into the chat. It's a 17-minute video, and there's a bit of a surprise in the video. It's a different examiner in the video this time. It's not me, it's somebody else, so check it out. Okay, the link is in the chat. It's a very good video. It's a very good example of a high band score for the speaking section, band 9. So check that out. All right, everybody. So again, the code is Fluent9. Get our apps, Academic IELTS Help, General IELTS Help, from your app stores. The apps will link to the websites. Follow us on Instagram, IELTS_AEHelp, GIELTS Help for general IELTS. And if you have questions about English, about IELTS, send me an email. Adrian@aehelp.com. I will gladly answer questions. So yeah, Students, we've got the 2 speaking classes today, and then we have a special reading class on Light Hall tomorrow as well. So if you are getting close to your IELTS exam and you need some great tips for reading, definitely register. This class on Light Hall tomorrow is a $2 class. It costs $2 to register, and you get a new reading passage, brand new. You've never seen it before, with new questions. Hi Baljit, I am doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. It's nice to see many students in the class, so let's get going. Again, that new video on YouTube is this one right here. And there's kind of, like I say, a new examiner, so it's a bit of a surprise for everybody. Okay, IELTS speaking part 2, the cue card. You are doing a great job in the IELTS speaking section. You showed up to your exam early, you feel confident, and you are being fluent. You are paying attention to strategy. You practiced before the exam, and now you're using that strategy to speak clearly and to show great communication. Hi Chen, hi Sheena, nice to see you in the class. Make sure to join in. Okay. All right, Baljit, if you sent the emails, don't worry about it. I'm sure you will get a response. If you don't hear from us within the next 24 hours, though, Baljit, definitely let us know. Okay, so IELTS speaking part 2. You're in the IELTS exam. You finished speaking part 1, the introduction, some questions maybe about your hobbies, some sports, maybe about food. And then the examiner says that is the end of part 1. We will now continue with part 2. For this part, I will show you some questions. You will have 1 minute to read these questions. Think about your answers. You can take notes in the 1 minute if you wish. And then you will have 1 to 2 minutes to speak. I will tell you when to start, when to stop. Talk about a park or a natural place near your home. Your 1 minute preparation time begins now. And then your 1 minute preparation time begins, and that 60 seconds is super, super important. You have to use it in a very wise way. First of all, just stay calm and stay focused. Don't start freaking out, okay? So step number 1, read the question carefully. So talk about a park or a natural place near your home, okay? So some kind of nature that's near your home. What this place is, okay? So you should say what this place is. So what is it? If it's not a park, if it's a lake, if it's a mountain, if it's a river, if it's a forest, clearly describe it. Where is it located? Okay, so geography, location. What can people do there? All right, a memory you have going to this place. So it's going to be something specific. All right, good. Now, reading this and understanding this should only take you a few seconds. That's your first step when you see the cue card. Read it carefully. You have to answer all of these questions in the first 90 seconds, okay? So you must answer all of the questions on the card in the first 90 seconds. Then if you have more time, you can expand and go into more detail, okay? It's very, very important. This is the only way that you will get a good mark, okay? It has to be a complete task. So here, first step is read it carefully. Make sure that you understand it, okay? It's a good idea to read it twice. Now, step 2 is identify the category of the card. Is it a person? Is it a place? Is it an object? Is it an idea? Or is it an event? Okay, here clearly we're talking about a place. It says talk about a place near your home, right? So it's a place. Members, when we're talking about a place, what should we keep in mind? And by the way, when you're thinking of the category and you're thinking about what details to include for this category to make sense, to give good information, this is also very useful for part 3. So when we go to part 3 in the next class, keep this in mind. Okay, I always tell you to keep in mind your ideas for answers, but synonymously, or at the same time, simultaneously I should say, you need to keep in mind the information that's usually associated with a place to have clarity, right? So when we're talking about a place to a person, a stranger, and this is, especially challenging because they probably have no idea about this place, then you need to include some important information. Amra says the location. Okay, and then Amra says size. Amra, it's not simply just the size. Baljit synonymously means similarly. Okay, same as. A synonym is a word that has the same meaning as another word. So synonymously means like similarly. Okay, or similar to. Okay, Baljit says place and then the attendees. Well, so first we have the location. Okay, so where it's located, what the place is and its location, right? And then we have the description, right? The appearance, just like with a person. A lot of people forget to describe what the place looks like, and it never really materializes. It never really becomes reality, right? So describing the look of the place is quite important, okay? Yep, Rashika, we might want to give a bit about its history as well. Sure, it could be important. So the history of the park, yep, we can include that. Then the attendees, right, Baljit? Yeah. And then what else? Rashika, it's not really the function. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but we don't want to say function. Function is more for an object. Okay, we want to be accurate here, everybody. I'm getting a little bit of the feeling that some of our members might be a bit tired today. It's the weekend. Yeah, Baljit, what people do there is simply put the activities, right? So, yeah, there you go, Baljit. So you want to be very clear on this. Okay, so the location, where it is, the appearance, what it looks like. You might give a bit of the history. Sometimes it's not as important, right? Like if you go to a lake's been there forever. It might have a history, but it might not, right? The attendees, definitely people that go there, people who enjoy that place or who visit that place for some reason. Could be for pleasure, could be for work. Activities. Sure, so that's very important, okay? And then experience. Okay. Activities and experience are very important, so that's where you want to give a little bit of extra attention. Okay, if we look at the cue card question, it says what this place is. What this place is, if you think about it, is like location and appearance. And where it is located is clearly the location. Okay. What can people do there is clearly the activities. Okay, and a memory you have going to this place is your experience. So you can see that the question includes these points, but they have so many different ways of asking these points. So just remember it's these points, okay? And it's a natural place. Now, there's a very important piece here in this topic sentence. It's talk about a natural place, and this natural place has to be near your home, okay? So let's say that you live in India, and then you start talking about nature, and you start talking about the Himalayas, okay? But you're from Karnataka and you live in Karnataka, right? Himalayas are not near your home. They're far away from your home. So if you talk about the Himalayan mountains, you're going to get a low band score because it's not near your home and you're not paying attention to the question. So you have to be very, very careful, and that's why it's a really good idea, especially to read this topic statement or question twice, okay? It's very common to make a mistake there. All right. Hi, Ghazi. Okay, so we've identified the category of the card. It's a location, it's a place. We want to talk about its appearance, the attendees, activities, experience. And then step 3 is to come up with a couple different places. Okay, so think of a couple different answers. Okay, choose the one that is easy to talk about, original, with lots of content. Okay, so give me some places, members. What are some places of nature near your home? So it can be a park. It says you could talk about a park, or you could talk about some other place. It could be a beach, for example, right? So here you should be thinking about park, beach, forest, meadow, mountain. Okay. So there are lots of different, if you live in some parts of the States, or could be a swamp, even. Could be a river, lake. All right, there's lots of different places. So tell me about some places near your home that are a part of nature. Yeah, Baljeet, it could even be a farm. Farm is, yeah, okay. It's a bit agricultural. It's a bit human. Okay, Amra says, for example, Gunjlik Park. Not Park Gunjlik, Gunjlik Park in south western Baku. Southwestern is just one word, Amra. Southwestern Baku. It's not hyphenated. Okay, so Gunjlik Park in southwestern Baku. Okay, Amra, sure. What else? Give me some ideas. So start thinking. I'll give you a couple. So, for instance, here in Victoria, where I live in Canada, I'm quite fortunate. There's a lot of nature around me. Not far from me is a beautiful park called Goldstream Park. Okay. Also not far, well, there are lots. This would be an easy cue card topic for me in this sense, because there's so many parks and natural places around me. There's also Willows Beach, which is a beautiful beach, sandy beach. There's also Mount Douglas Park. Okay. So I've thought of 3, and I mean, for me, I have to be careful because there are so many places of nature around me here in Victoria that I could easily just get lost thinking about different places to do and to talk about. Okay. Ghazi says Deer Lake near Bishop. Okay. Newfoundland, right? Okay, so, or New Brunswick. So, good. Okay, so think about those places. Now, as soon as you have a place in mind, I'm going to go with Mount Douglas Park. Sure, why not? Then we want to take some useful notes in the next step. Okay, so I'm going to go with Mount Douglas Park. I'm going to give you an example. Now, of course, this question, this cue card is interesting because it's specific to each of you. So in this case, when we're practicing today and when we take some volunteers for answering this cue card, it will be interesting because it's a good idea to be unique and talk about a place that's near your home, since this has a unique answer for each of you. Okay, so in step 4, you write down useful notes. Okay, and in the useful notes, you want to include information that you don't automatically think about. So don't write down Mount Douglas Park. If I know that I'm going to talk about Mount Douglas Park, I don't need to write down Mount Douglas Park. So step 1 is to talk about, well, which is step 4, but the first part of my useful notes, basically I want to follow the pattern of this. So location, then I want to talk about appearance, then I want to talk about attendees, so who goes there, activities, let's choose a different color for that, there, so activities, and Sanjay, welcome back. And then I want to talk about my experience. Okay. So again, all of those in the first 90 seconds. And so my notes follow this pattern. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to talk about location. Now, again, when I practice this, I can be very, very quick during the IELTS exam. So this is what my notes would look like for this question on the paper. So okay, and I'm going to explain exactly what I'm doing here. All right, and that's basically my notes. So, usually when we do these notes, I give you notes as part of the lesson, giving a lot of details. But here, I wanted to show you that notes within that 1 minute. Okay, so you have 1 minute. So in that 1 minute, you have to read the question twice. You have to figure out that, okay, this is a place. I need the location. I need the appearance. I need the activities, the attendees. Okay, and so here I wrote down my useful notes. Now notice that I forgot one as I'm saying this, or as I was saying this, it's the attendees, right? So here I might add something like Okay, so what I just added there are the people, the attendees, right? So I forgot my notes for attendees. So this first one here is the location. Now I wouldn't write down location because I remember that the first one has to be location. Then I write down the appearance. Then I write down the attendees. And then I write down the activities. And then I write down my experience. Okay. So basically those are the notes, and you can see that I can write these notes down very quickly. So the notes that I put here for Mount Douglas Park, these notes, I know the place, I've been there, I can talk about it, and I just write down the key pieces that help me to give more information and give more detail. I don't write down words like Mount Douglas Park. I don't write down words like trees. If I'm going to write down a word like trees, I'm going to be more specific, like Douglas fir or pine, right? So I'm careful about what words I write down in those notes. And then step 5 is my first sentence, and this is very, very important, okay? Because a lot of students are very slow to start in speaking part 2. So the examiner says, okay, your 1-minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking. And then a lot of students go, okay, so, well, there's lots of really nice nature that's kind of close to my home. There's like lakes and rivers, but the place that I want to talk to you about today, and it's like, whoa, did you just use 30 seconds from a 1 to 2 minute time to introduce the place that you're going to talk about? That's really not a good strategy because you're wasting a lot of time. So you have to have your first sentence ready. And I still see this kind of very slow and general start from a lot of candidates, and they're losing marks. They basically lose half a band score just for that, just for not being clear, specific, direct, which shows more fluency, which shows more coherence, more lexical resource. So you want to be very clear and accurate from the start. Okay, so first sentence ready. A beautiful place of nature that is just 5 kilometers from my home is Mount Doug Park. Okay, there, now I've clearly introduced it. So now what happens is when the examiner says, okay, your 1-minute preparation time is up, please begin speaking, right away I can say a beautiful place of nature that is just 5 kilometers from my home is Mount Doug Park. And basically here I'm looking at the topic question or statement of the card, right? Talk about a natural place near your home. So this natural place near my home, okay, is Mount Doug Park that is 5 kilometers away. So my first sentence answers that topic statement or that topic question very specifically, very clearly. This is very, very important, okay? All right. Now I can continue with what I want to say based on location, appearance, attendees, activities. So I'm basically just going through these and connecting these, okay? So this park This park is located on the northwestern side of Victoria in the district of Saanich, not too far from the University of Victoria. Just off Shelburne Street. Okay, and it's actually there. You guys can Google it and you'll find it. Okay. So not too far from the University of Victoria, just off of Shelburne Street. It is a 400 meter mountain covered in forest and hiking trails. Most of the forest is pine and Douglas fir, but many other unique types of plants can be found there, such as Himalayan blackberries and arbutus trees. The mountain is about 5 kilometers around at the base and has an incredible lookout at the top, which gives visitors a 360 panorama of the city. Okay, and it's true, if you ever come to this part of the world and you visit my hometown Victoria, I highly recommend checking out Mount Doug Park. You can even drive to the top, and there is a lookout where you can see a 360 view of the city. Now, you also want to be careful, students, in Part 2 Q card, not to get carried away. So you need to remember that you do really only have 1 to 2 minutes to speak. And because I'm very familiar with some of these parks and with Mount Doug, I could probably talk about Mount Doug for 4 or 5 minutes easily, just describing what it looks like, what you can do there, what you can see there. But I have to keep in mind, this is the IELTS exam. This isn't a friendly conversation at a coffee shop. I do not have 5 to 10 minutes to talk about Mount Doug and all of the amazing vistas and activities. And sure, here I could just keep talking about the amazing view from the top of the mountain. You can see all the way over to the United States, the Olympic Mountains. You can see Vancouver. You can see the Strait of Georgia, the Pacific Ocean. So I could just keep talking and talking, but I don't want to do that because I must cover all of these questions in the cue card in 90 seconds, okay? A lot of students forget that they have these questions and they have to stay on topic here, okay? Hi, Chenny. Welcome to our group of members. Okay, so while I'm doing this, members and viewers, make sure that you're also thinking about the place of nature that is close to your home, and you are taking some notes for that place of nature based on its location, appearance, attendees, activities, experience. So you will have a chance shortly to give me your response, okay? So you will be doing this together with me very, very soon, okay? So here we go. A beautiful place of nature that is just 5 kilometers from my home is Mount Doug Park. This park is located on the northeastern side of Victoria in the district of Saanich, not too far from the University of Victoria, just off Shelburne Street. Just off Shelburne Street, so just off of a street, means it's basically you turn and it's there. You're on the street, you're on Shelburne Street. Here it depends which way you're going, but you turn and then there's the mountain. It's a 400-meter tall mountain covered in forest and hiking trails. Most of the forest is pine and Douglas fir, but many other unique types of plants can be found there, such as Himalayan blackberries and arbutus trees. If you know the name of plants, use them, even if they're not actually there. Like if you know that there are rose bushes, you can see there are rose bushes there. The mountain is about 5 kilometers around at the base. So the bottom of the mountain is about 5K around, and has an incredible lookout at the top, which gives visitors a 360 panoramic view of the city. Okay. So now I might not have used my all of my notes, like 30 hectares. Okay, but that's fine, because again, in the first 90 seconds, I have to cover all of this. And then if I have more time, I can say on this 30-hectare land, okay? So I can use that information later. Right now, I need to go to the attendees, athletes, tourists, young and old people, dog lovers, okay? So there are many different kinds of people who enjoy this place, including hikers that go up and down the mountain to get a good workout. It is a dog-friendly park, so many dog lovers take their pets there for a daily stroll. And of course, visitors to the city enjoy driving up the mountain to the lookout to get a good view of the city. Okay. Again, lots of information there. I might want to shorten that up, so I need to stay in that 90 seconds. Okay. Fun activities at the park include exercise, picking berries, having a picnic, and taking pictures of the beautiful nature and scenery. Okay, so here I've kind of gone into a listing mode simply because I want to make sure that that I'm answering all of these questions in that first 90 seconds. Okay, so hike, picnic, meditate, run, pictures. I haven't talked about the run. I haven't talked about meditation yet. But again, if I don't include everything right away, it's fine. I just want to make sure that I cover all the points in the first 90 seconds and I pay attention to the cue card, right? So what can people do there? And now it's a memory you have going to this place. Unfortunately, if the examiner stops you before you answer all the questions, so if the examiner right now says, okay, stop there, your time is up, we will now continue with part 3, and I know that I did not answer this last question, a memory I have going to this place, unfortunately, I'm probably losing some marks. I'm not going to be able to get that perfect band 9. So I have to try to squeeze that in that 90 seconds, okay? So just 2 weeks ago, I was at Mount Doug Park with my daughters for a hike around the base, and we picked berries along the way and had a great time. I taught my older daughter about the local fauna and flora that can be found at this park, and it was a very memorable event for me. Okay, now this last part of of my response, and it was a very memorable event for me, also kind of tells the examiner that I answered all of the questions on the card. So, you know, sometimes, and I've thought a lot about this, like what's the best way to teach this to IELTS candidates? Sometimes students are like, well, how do I know that I have said enough? How do I know how does the examiner know when I'm finished? There's kind of this like concluding sentence that you can include in your part 2 response. So when you're looking at the card and you have this last question, a memory you have going to this place, what you can do in your 1 to 2 minute response, and only do this when you feel like, okay, I answered all the questions on the card, then you can have a sentence which uses this last question to conclude your response. And for example, for me, in this case, that would be, and it was a very memorable event for me. Or you could say, and this is an amazing memory that I will never forget for the rest of my life. Okay, so that would be another way to say that. Okay, so this is an incredible memory for me that I will cherish for the rest of my life. The examiner is very familiar with the questions on the card. It's very likely that they have shown this cue card to several other candidates already. They definitely reviewed it before they went in for work that day. So they know that this is the last question on the card. And when you respond in this way, like, this is an incredible memory for me that I will cherish for the rest of my life, that signals to the examiner that, okay, I'm finished the response and I'm done. Especially, of course, when you have all of this content beforehand. Does that make sense, everybody? So Ghazi, Amra, Rashika, I see, Sanjay, I see that you're answering parts of this question, which is fantastic. I will look at that in a moment, but I'm trying to also give you some new information that will help you to get a great band score for speaking part 2. And you know, I think the awkward situation that happens often with candidates is they don't know if they said enough, they don't know if they should talk more, they don't know if they should just keep talking until the examiner interrupts them. No, you should not talk until the examiner interrupts you. Okay, that's not it's awkward. Okay, so if you got that advice from someone, forget it. It's not the best advice. So you should not just keep talking until the examiner stops you. You should have a clear start and finish to your part 2 while answering all the questions on the cue card. Okay. So here, you notice my start, okay, the example here. So you notice my start is this very direct response to the cue card, okay? So the cue card says, talk about a park or a natural place near your home, and I say, a beautiful place of nature that is just 5 kilometers from my home is Mount Doug Park. Okay. Just to be a little bit clear there. And then my finish is this last one here. Okay, so it's based on the last question, a memory you have going to this place. So this is my finish. Okay. So, and it was a very memorable event for me. So notice how the start directly answers the first question, talk about a place of nature near your home. and a memorable event. Okay, so we're going to practice this in just a second, everyone, this part 2 response. And I really want all of the volunteers who want to give this a shot to pay attention to this start and finish to their story. Okay, all of the other parts are in the middle. Okay. What was it? Talk about a memory you have going to this place. Okay, so that's what I want you to focus on, and I can see that Amra and Sanjay say, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, let's see. So Ghazi says the amazing natural location is Mount Doug Park, which is located in my city, Victoria, and it's just 5 kilometers from my home. Yeah, so that's a good start, Ghazi. Amra says the one nearest and fabulous same time park. Amra, that's awkward. Just keep it simple. Don't make mistakes in your first sentence. Keep your first sentence simple, Amra. So a park near my home is Ginge Lake Park. It's beautiful. Okay, and then it is a 40-hectare park that is located in the southwestern region of Baku. Okay, Amra, careful not to overcomplicate and make mistakes. All right. Rashika says Mount Doug Park is a natural place near my house, just 10 minutes by car. This beautiful park is located on the northern part of Victoria, nearby the university. Very nice. So Rashika, see, I can tell that you're keeping it relatively simple and clear, and you're going to get a good band score for that kind of response. Okay. Sanjay says the children's park is a stone's throw away from my home, and I can go there walking in 5 minutes. Okay, Sanjay, you have to be very careful. Okay, I'm going to show you why. So I like to emphasize sometimes mistakes so that you don't make it in the real exam. Sanjay, what's the big problem with this answer? And other students, you can help me out with this as well. There's a reason why Sanjay might get a very low band score for this kind of a response. So the children's park, the English is not bad. I'll give you a hint. The children's park is a stone's throw. Okay, these are just small mistakes that I'm correcting, but there's a big mistake in here that I want you to tell me what it is. Okay. So what's the big mistake here with Sanjay's response? And I warned you about this at the beginning. Okay. What do you think it is? The children's park is a stone's throw away from my home, and I can get there in 5 minutes on foot. Baljit says explanation. Nope. Baljit says the appearance. Nope, that's not what's missing. Something, there's a big flaw. There's a big problem here with this response, where the examiner might even give you one of these kind of looks of like, and they might look at the card like, did you look at that card carefully enough? And it's easy to miss. Sanjay, it's an honest mistake. It's easy to miss. And this is what happens to a lot of candidates, and then they get, yeah, there you go. Baljit just clicked. He's like, oh yeah, wait a second. It is not necessarily nature. Okay. So it sounds like, Sanjay, you're talking about a park that's more for sports, and it's like a sports facility. It doesn't really reflect the question. The question is talking about a park or a part of nature, right? And here you're talking about a park that's not really a place of nature. Okay. So yes, the question says park, but the focus is more on nature here. So it's a natural place. Okay. And maybe it is. Maybe this children's park is, Sanjay, a natural place, but you have to tell me that somewhere. So the children's park is a stone's throw away from my home, and I can get there within 5 minutes. It's off the east from my home. There I like to visit with my friends, having a beautiful sports match. You need to include, there are many trees and a beautiful garden, lots of green grass. Okay, so it has to reflect this concept of nature, right? And there are facilities that are, kind of like a park, which are not really that much nature. Okay. Stone's throw away means close. Be careful with using idioms correctly, though. Okay. All right. So careful with that. Make sure you emphasize that it's a place of nature. All right. Okay. So everybody, let's give you a chance to answer this question. Okay, I'm going to put on my ears here so I can hear you better. And then we will now go to the website. This is aehelp.com. Okay, again, for those of you who do not have premium access, you can click on this big red button. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. It's well worth it, or you can try it for free with this green button there. Okay. And then you have a My Student account. In your My Student account, you want to click on the Student Partner Speaking. And the Student Partner Speaking, you accept. And you are in the chat. And here, this is priority for members. This is a members chat class. Of course, you can become a member of our YouTube channel by clicking the join button, and definitely subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell button to get notification of live classes. So we have Zarina, Sunantha, Brajesh, Nguyen, Baljit, Paulin, Anika, Sharab, Zoraida, Ghazi, Tina, Cicerani. So firstly, I'm looking for members to try this, and I can see that Ghazi is very quick and ambitious. Ghazi just sent me a message. Again, send your messages to my handle. It's Master. Click on the blue envelope. Okay, so all you have to do is click this blue envelope that you see here to send me a message. Okay, make sure you're clicking on my blue envelope for Master, and then send me a message and say, I want to volunteer. And then you can try this. And I can see that we have Brajesh, Sunantha volunteering as well. Again, it's firstly for members. So if you're a member, let me know. Ghazi says, can I volunteer? Yes. Ghazi, absolutely. Are you ready? Okay, so we'll give Ghazi a chance to talk about a park or a place of nature near his home using this cue card, and then I will give some feedback. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Hi Ghazi, how are you?
I'm fine. How about you?
Doing quite well, thank you.
Oh, good. Great.
All right, Ghazi, you're being very studious. Good for you. Let's do this. So, Ghazi, I'm going to show you the cue card. I will start you off, and then I will time you as well. Are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
All right, sounds great. Here we go.
Yep.
So, that is the end of part one. We will now begin part two. For part two, I will show you some questions. You will have 1 minute to prepare your answers. You can take some notes, and then you will have 1 to 2 minutes to speak. Talk about a natural place near your home or a park. Your 1 minute preparation time begins now. Your
Eh,
1 minute, just to say, your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
Yeah, the amazing natural locations which close to my home is Brook Natural Trail. It's just about 5 kilometers from Bishop Falls. It's between Bishop Falls and Grand Falls. It's close to Trans Canada Highway. Any person can access it easily. So the location is natural. Everything is natural. Just there's a small office and at the entrance. And once a person go to through the entrance, will see the flora and fauna. The locations include trees and animals like fox, bears, and birds, and even moose. Also there is two amazing lakes in the locations. The lakes also includes different types of fish. Uh, People go there for many activities, for hiking, for walking. You can see people walking with their dogs. Also for fishing, that is my favorite part. I go there for a fish and a swim in the lake. You can also find people from all ages, old people and young people. Usually, young people go there for a camp. Just last month, I went there with my kids. They had a summer camp.
Okay,
Um,
your time is up. I'm going to stop you there. And now we will go on to part three. For part three, I will ask you more questions related to your response on the topic of
Yeah.
part two. Let's talk about nature. Okay, Ghazi, that was pretty good. Yeah, that was solid. Definitely an easy 6.65 for sure. Going
Yes, the experience, unfortunately. So,
Yeah, you're doing great. Be careful with your timing. So that was on the longer end, okay? So that was
Yeah.
maybe a bit more than 2 minutes. And that last question, the a memory you have going to this place, I think you were a little bit late explaining that part. I think that you spent a little bit too much time explaining the appearance of the place.
Yeah, yeah.
So instead of listing like fox, bear, deer, flora, fauna, lakes with fish, either do that part faster or keep it shorter. So one of the two, right? You want to try to avoid any kind of filler language that's awkward, like everything is natural. I mean, yeah, okay, sure. It's do you need to tell me that? Probably not really, since you already said it's beautiful nature before, right? So simplify some of those sentences, make them concise. So instead of saying everything is natural, you can just say there are many different kinds of trees and animals like bears and birds, and then immediately go into the activities. Now, even in the activities, you started to kind of jump around a little bit, but then you did something very well, which is that you made it personal. You said, I really like going there for the fishing and for swimming in the lake.
Yeah.
Now, if you feel like, because you can kind of feel it, you can kind of be like, oh, I'm starting to run out of time. Like, I think you felt that, right? You probably felt like, oh, I'm running out of time and I haven't answered this question. And you went for the truth. Like you said that, okay, your kids had some summer camps there and so on. But you can, again, simplify. So the strategy that I want you to kind of really pay attention to is just being concise and simplifying. So if you're telling me that you really like to go there for swimming and fishing in the lake, then you
Yeah.
can simply say, and I have a great memory just last week catching a 10-pound trout or a 10-pound bass in the lake, which I ate with my family that evening, right? So you can combine it.
In the experience can put it like this.
Exactly. So the experience can be combined with the activity, especially
Oh,
when you did that really clever step of saying, I really like going there for the fishing and for the swimming in the lake.
yeah.
Just yesterday, I have this amazing
Yeah.
memory going there with my kids catching some fish and swimming, right?
Yeah.
So you can combine those two. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's good strategy. Yeah, put it part of the experience and answer question and
Exactly.
at the same time.
Exactly. So so combine, right? Concise, and then take out all of those awkward fillers, like everything is nature, everything is natural, because that's kind of like okay.
Yeah,
So that's how you make it more. And then if you have more time, if the examiner is still kind of looking at you, then you can say, oh, and another wonderful memory is taking my children there for summer camp last
yeah,
week, right? So then you can add more information if they're still kind of staring at you like, oh, you have more time. But you definitely want to include all of that. So really
yeah.
focus on that clear start and clear finish, okay?
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
All right, Ghazi, keep up the good studies, and hopefully it sounds like a beautiful place, so maybe one
Yeah,
day.
it's nice place. Yeah, it's beautiful and a big place. Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
Ghazi, have a lovely rest of your Saturday.
You too. Thank you, Adrian.
You're
See you
welcome.
later.
Bye for now. So that was Ghazi. He is on the east coast of Canada, so he's got some fairly different nature from what we have here, but somewhat similar. We also have moose and fox and bears here as well. All right, Baljit, thank you for the thumbs up. Sanjay says Ghazi did very well. Yeah, I agree. I mean, Ghazi, you covered most of the questions for sure, and you got going really well. So okay, let's take another one of our members. We've got lots of time, students, so we'll be able to take a few students here, probably not just members as well. So I am ambitious too. Zarina, are you ready? Yes, you are ambitious. Ambition is great. Baljit, I also see you there. And then other members, I'm not sure who else is... Chenny or Sanjay, Rashika, if you can. I'm not sure who's ready to go, but Zarina, if you're there, I know Zarina's a member, although I don't see you in the chat, Zarina, but hi, Zarina.
Hi, sir.
How are
Just
you?
making fun.
How are you doing, Zarina?
I'm great. I'm pretty much prepared with this
Okay, you're ready to
speaking
go.
part.
All right, you took
Yes,
some
sir.
notes. Good, good. All right, and I can see you're in a good mood, which is nice on the weekend, especially. Okay,
Yes.
Zarina, let me start you off then. Give me a nice answer. This is going to be fun. We're going to hear of lots of different places of nature around the world. Okay, so here we go. That is the end of part one. We will now continue with part two. For this part, I will show you some questions. You will have 1 minute to prepare your answers, and then you will have 1 to 2 minutes to speak. I will tell you when to start and when to stop. Talk about a park or a natural place near your home. Your 1 minute preparation time begins now. Okay, your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
Okay. I would like to talk about the La Mesa Dam Eco Park located in the city where I live. It's Quezon City. Just about 10 minutes drive by four wheels. That's without traffic. It is owned by a private institution. I'm hardly an expert to talk about the area of or the size of the area, but it's very large park. This kind of park is very unique uh, because uh, it is still preserved and the natural beauty is being kept by the Department of Environment and Natural Resources. It is a government agency that oversees the environment of the Philippines. This part this park is still covered with towering trees, wild grass, and different kinds of flowers. And it has a small pond where people can feed the fish and different kinds of birds chirping around. One noticeable in the name of the park is the dam because the other side of it is a dam that distributes water to the uh, residents of Quezon City. Upon visiting the area, I can see park goers are the local residents of the park, and even tourists, even Filipinos and even foreigners. I can see and I can tell because it is a perfect place for relaxation and the natural beauty it gives a unwinding sense of spirit. Uh,
Okay, your time is up. I'm going to stop you there. And we will now continue with part three. For this part, I will ask you some questions related to the topic of part two. Let's talk about
okay.
natural places. Okay, Zarina, what do you think? What do you think my first complaint is going to be?
The very long explanation about the park.
Exactly. I just said this to Ghazi. Why are you doing the same thing Ghazi did? Yeah, we
Yeah,
have we
maybe
have to be
I'm just
careful. You're excited
maybe
about
I'm
it.
just very impressed of the park. That's why I want.
Exactly. Exactly. And this is what I was kind of. So sometimes we get these questions in the IELTS exam that are fairly easy for us to talk about, like talk about your best friend, and then people just get carried away talking about one part of their friendship, like how they met, and they forget to answer all of the other questions on the card. So it's a very common mistake, and it's very difficult to control. Like even when I was writing my response for this cue card, I was starting to get very excited to talk about all of the amazing scenery that's around Mount Doug, because it really is
Yes.
amazing. Like if you go to the top of Mount Doug and you look around, just Google it, look for pictures top of Mount Doug, and you'll see like, oh, you could talk about that for an hour. But you have to control it. Like talking about like things um, going there without traffic. Like why include that part of without traffic, right? So
Bec-
it's it's not like I need to know with or without traffic, right? So I'm the IELTS examiner. And probably I'm not going to drive to that park right after the exam. So I know you're trying to be maybe helpful for me to go there when there's no traffic, but it's unnecessary. And then after that you say, I'm not an expert to talk about it, the size of the area. Yeah, you are. You're a local person. You know more about it than I do. Why? You don't need to tell me that you're not an expert to talk about it, right? So yeah,
Too
yeah.
much information.
Exactly. Yeah, and
Okay.
I like how you just said that, because we have this acronym in English. We actually say TMI. Have you heard that before?
No, it's my first time.
It actually means too much information. So when a person's talking and talking and talking and they're just giving too much information, you might hear somebody actually say, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, TMI." It means too much information, right? So
Okay.
so yeah, too much information and not the right information. Um,
Okay.
you said the natural beauty is preserved. At first, you said that it's a private park, but we would call that actually a public park if it's owned by the government. So not a private. Private park would be owned by some kind of a corporation or individual.
Mm.
So this sounds like a public park that is taken care of by the Department of Environment, which again is too much information. Like in most countries, public parks, yeah, they're taken care of by your Department of Environment environment and nature. Most people know that, right? So where you started to give me really good information, where I was like, okay, that's band 9, that's good information, is when you said this park is still covered with towering trees. I love the
Okay.
towering trees. That was really good. And then you said wild grass. That was really good. So that description, that should have been much earlier. And then you should have
Okay.
started talking about the tourists go there, local people go there. They walk across the dam, they take pictures of the river below, and then, your own experience. So you have to
Mm-hmm.
get to the last two questions on the cue card faster.
Yes.
Okay, you have to. So careful with that TMI. Okay.
So the main problem is the TMI, not because I speak slow, or did I speak slow?
No, it's not the speed. It's the TMI. You have to be direct. So what some IELTS trainers tell students, Zarina, is just that because of this situation, is they just say just answer the questions. Like they say,
Okay.
okay, place that I go to is Lemenza Dam Eco Park. And then it's like, check, I just answered this question. It is located a
Mm-hmm.
10-minute drive from my home. Check, I just answered this
Mm-hmm.
question. People can go for long walks and take pictures there. Check, I just answered this question. I was there last week, and I
Okay.
took some photos and put it on Facebook. This was a great memory for me. Check. I just answered that question. So you can do it that way. However, usually it's a little bit more awkward because people are looking at the card and looking up, and it's like they're going question by question. So it's better if you can do it naturally, but without too much information. Does that make sense?
Yes. I because I remember last time I come short of my information as well. So I think I just thought of adding more details this time.
Yeah, and it's definitely the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Do you know the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears?
Yes.
Okay, so you know what happens to Goldilocks when she finds the house of the three bears, right?
Mm-mm.
She goes in and she tastes the first soup and it's too cold,
Mm-mm.
and then she tastes the second soup and it's too hot, and then the third one, the baby bear soup, is just right. That's
Mm-mm.
often what happens with students with these cue cards, and that's why you have to practice it, is because sometimes they don't say enough and they just repeat the same information and they get stuck.
Yes.
And then sometimes they go the other direction and they say way too much, and then the examiner's like, whoa, whoa, okay, your time is up,
Okay.
let's keep going. And so you have to find that kind of perfect 1 to 2 minute storyline where you
Okay.
have the beginning, middle, end. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay, Zarina, keep it up. Try it again. So when you have some time, maybe today or tomorrow, take your phone and try to create a more
Time.
concise response in the 90 seconds. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And then you can record it and send it to me, Serena, and I'll let you know, okay, this is great. All
Okay,
right.
sir. I will try. I will do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye, Serena.
Bye.
All right. Tricky indeed. It's no easy task. So students, you can see from Ghazi and from Zarina that it's not an easy task to estimate that 2 minute time and to see how much you can fit in there. One of the problems that happens when you just answer the questions, like I was showing Zarina, is that you don't speak enough. So if you say, okay, I go to Mount Doug Park, it's located a 5 kilometer walk from my house, or 5 minute walk from my house. People can take pictures there and go for hikes. I was there last week with my children. We had a great time. Then often what happens is the examiner's still looking at the person like, okay, and so you have to kind of find that balance, right? You have to speak enough. Okay, let me choose somebody else. Let's see, who do we have? All right, we have Baljit. I see you, Baljit. I'm just checking to see who else we have from our members in here. Amra, I see you in here, but I know that you're having some trouble still with your system. Okay, we'll give Baljit a chance, and then we might be able to open it up for some other people as well. So Baljit, are you ready? Okay, hopefully Baljit's kind of learned or learned from the mistakes of Ghazi and Zarina? Okay, Baljit, here we go.
Hello, sir.
Hi, Baljit. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, sir. What about you?
I'm doing good, thanks. Are you ready to give this a go?
Yes, sir. I'm ready as I'll ever be.
Great. All right, I'll start you off. So that is the end of part 1. We will now continue with part 2. For this part, I will show you a card with some questions. You will have 1 minute to prepare your answers, and you will have 1 to 2 minutes to speak. Talk about a park or a natural place near your home. Your 1 minute preparation time begins now. Okay, your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
Okay. An amazing natural park and a lake are just 15 minutes walk from my bachelor pad. Actually, this park is located just the east side of my city, which is outside the just 7 to 8 kilometers from this city. And this park looks amazing because it has around 2 acres of land, which is fully occupied with wild grass, and as well as it has boundary of palm trees and Azadi Rakta indica trees as well. The people visit this park for not only their physical activities but also for the view of lake, because it has a lake just perpendicular to this park. And apart from this running and other activities, people love to do yoga and meditation as well. uh, Attendees of all ages are go usually go there for uh, uh, like athletes for running and their physical activities, and the senior citizens for walking purposes. And I remember last weekend I went there with my friend Deep, who just taught me how I can throw a boomerang perfectly because he is pro at it. And I loved that how he taught this to me, and this is a memorable moment. This was a memorable moment for me, and I will
Okay,
never
your time
forget
is
it.
up. I will stop you there, and we will now continue with part 3. For this part, I will ask you some questions related to the topic of part 2. All right, that was really good. Okay, yeah, we're definitely learning, Pauljeet. So you realized, oh, I gotta speed up here. I timed you, so I didn't time Ghazi and Zarina, but I know that they were at a good 2 minutes, if not a little bit more. I did time you, so I actually checked the clock on my computer this time. And do you know how long you were talking for? Any guess? How long was your response?
Maybe 2 minutes or above, something like 10 or 15 seconds, or
Wow, very
less.
good, Baljeet. Yeah, almost you got it almost exactly. It was 2 minutes 21 seconds roughly. Yeah, give or take a second, but it was 2 minutes 21 seconds. Yeah, I was timing you. So that means that that very last part, the memory of you learning to throw the boomerang, might not have happened in the real exam, because in the real exam, the examiner is literally looking at their stopwatch. So they have instructions that they have to stop you at 2 minutes no matter what happens. They can stop you at 1 minute if you're not making sense, if you're going off topic, if you're just talking gibberish like blah, 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 blah. They will stop you at 1 minute. But if you're making sense, if you're answering the questions, they will let you go the 2 minutes usually. Okay, usually.
Okay.
So I always say answer the questions in the first 90 seconds. So if we're thinking about that, the first 90 seconds, then you're 50 seconds over, right?
Okay,
So
okay.
you were a little bit better than your two previous, getting to that last point, but you still need to be a little bit faster. So here, when you started
Because I
talking,
started slow, I think.
you started okay. I think you also included some information that was a bit kind of overly detailed or unnecessary. Like you said, people love to do yoga and meditation as well. And then you said people of all ages go there for running and for their physical activities. You already told me that people go there for physical activities. So you repeated that information. And then you said senior citizens go there for walking as well. I don't get me wrong. I have all the respect for senior citizens, but unnecessary. Okay, too much information there. So I would have taken out some of those parts and just gotten to the boomerang part a little bit earlier, because I thought that was really good and that was very good English. So learning to throw a boomerang with your friend Deep, and this was really memorable for you. That was really good. So that should have come earlier in your response. Okay.
Okay.
All right. But overall, very good, and nice use of language too. Also, this part here, like actually this park is located just outside of my city. You could have taken that out as well. So that I would have taken out. I would have taken out the perpendicular lake, which was a little bit awkward. I would have taken that out. I would have taken out the senior citizens for walking as well. And then I think it would have been just perfect. You would have gotten like a band 7-5. This way it's hard to tell because you probably wouldn't have finished. So more like a band 6. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Baljeet, keep it up and practice those 90-second and 2-minute time limits, everybody. Okay, Baljeet?
Yeah, sure, sir.
Use the stopwatch. Like, use the stopwatch just like I did this time, okay?
Okay.
All
I
right,
got
bye.
it.
All right, bye, Baljeet. Okay, let's see, who else do we have? If you're a member, let me know. Okay, sometimes like we have a lot of members. We do have over 150 or 160 members, and I know that not all of you join in the chat. So if you're a member, please let me know in the chat. Otherwise, I will just take a person at random. Okay, so. We have, let's see, Roshni Mezad has sent me 20 messages. Rahmani. Okay, I think Sarah was in here before as well. Chenny, absolutely you can try. Who are you in the list here? So I'm looking at the list, Chenny. Can you tell me what name you're using in the list? Okay, Maya Fernandez. You can definitely try, but you have to use our website for that, Chenny. Are you on the website? If yes, let me know your handle if it's different than what you're using on YouTube, and then I'll know who it is. You have to say Chenny and you will see me as Sunantha or something like that. Okay. Okay, Chenny, not yet. Okay, so Chenny, what you want to do is sign up for the website. If you don't want to pay, that's okay. Just use the free account. And then send me a message through the website. YouTube does not have audio. YouTube only has, so Chenny, this is not YouTube. This is our website. It's aehelp.com. Okay, YouTube does not have audio function, everybody. So this is aehelp.com that we're using right now, which is our website chat. Okay. All right, so that's where you want to go. All right, let's take somebody else. Mizad, you sent me so many messages. Okay, and you're a premium member. All right, Mizad, fair enough. Are you ready? And I appreciate people who are premium members of our website. So Mizad says, come on, I'm a premium member. Yeah, if you're a full course member of our website, if you're a premium member of our website, you're not a subscriber, let us know that as well. Say, I'm a premium member. Please give me a try. Definitely. You respect us. We respect you.
How are you?
Hi, Mizad. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I appeared for my IELTS exam. I gave my reading, writing, and the listening test. Today only I appeared.
Okay, when is your, how about your speaking? Have you done your speaking already?
Yeah, speaking was done on 3rd of August, and we had the writing, listening, and the reading today on 6th.
Okay, good, good.
So
So you haven't gotten your scores then yet, right?
that will be coming after 2 weeks. We'll be getting after 2 weeks,
Okay. You can
15 days.
you can usually see your score online in like 2 or
Yeah, we
3
can log
days.
into the portal and we can check the scores. Yes,
Okay. Well, let me know how you did, Mizad. I'm very curious, okay?
absolutely.
All right. Okay,
It
Mizad,
was
are you
quite,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, sounds good. So I will start you off with this cue card. Here we go. So that is the end of part 1. We will now continue with part 2. For this part, I will ask you a couple of questions, or sorry, for this part, I will show you some questions. You will have 1 minute to prepare your answers, and you will have 1 to 2 minutes to speak. I will tell you when to start,
Okay.
when to stop.
Yeah.
Talk about a park or a natural place near your home. Your 1 minute preparation time begins now. Okay, your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
Yeah, so I would like to speak about a lake. The name of the lake is Pawai Lake. That is an artificial lake which is situated in the northern suburbs of Mumbai. This lake is among the beautiful places in the city of Mumbai, which you cannot miss out. And it is located about 2 kilometers from my home, so it is quite nearby to my place. And I would like to speak about the history of this lake. The British authorities created this lake in 1891 by building 2 dams across the Mithi River in an attempt to control the water supply. And this lake is now responsible to supply water in major parts of Mumbai city. And to get this lake has much beautiful surroundings. There is also a boat ride which is organized, which is quite a tranquil experience. And there is also a Pawai Lake garden where you can sit and enjoy the surroundings. And another major attraction of this lake is situated close to the luxury of Hiranandani Gardens. And in order to reach Pawai Lake, you can either take a bus or a cab. It is quite nearby. And I would also want to mention the attractions of Pawai Lake is indeed a wonderful tourist spot. And it makes this place feel like a
Okay,
paradise.
your time is up. I will stop you there. And now we will continue with part 3. For this part, I will ask you some questions related to your response and some questions connected to this topic. Let's talk about nature. Okay, so that would be like a band 5 to 6 response because you did not answer this last question, a memory you have going to this place. So it's very important,
Okay.
Mizad, that you look at the cue card while you're speaking. So,
Okay.
it seems like it's kind of like the flu that we all caught today, with giving too much detail, but not answering the questions on the card. And running out of time. So it's really important to have a complete story from start to finish in the first 90 seconds where you answer all of the questions. So you kind of did the same as Zarina, as Ghazi, Baljit did this a little bit as well, where there's just over explanation, too much information. I think that's the key word of the day is TMI, or the key acronym. So you said, so I would like to speak about a lake. It's a very long introduction when you only have 1 to 2 minutes to speak. You don't have to tell me what you would like to talk about. Just talk to me about it. So just start from here. See, Mizad, you can just start from here. The name of the lake is Pawai Lake. That is an artificial lake near Mumbai, near my home. Okay, it's much more direct, and then I don't waste 10 seconds saying I would like to talk about something, and you actually did that again. So here, like one sentence later, you said, I would like to talk about the history. Okay. So you're telling me I would like to talk about the lake. Then you said I would like to talk about the history. You can do that if you're giving me a 1-hour presentation about this lake. Okay. Tell me all the different topics that you would like to talk about. But you're not giving me a 1-hour presentation. You're giving me a 2-minute quick kind of speech, right? So right here, you can just start from here. It was built by the British in the 1800s. It has 2 dams to supply the city with water. Okay. So you said this is one of the beautiful places in Mumbai which you cannot miss out. You can take out that part as well. Okay. This lake has much beautiful surroundings. You just told me that. You said this is one of the beautiful places near Mumbai. So this is repetition. Now you said there's a boat ride that's organized. That's good information. That's unique. I can give you more band scores. And then now you have time to give me a memory that you have going to this place, right? So I know it's tricky because speaking in a concise way, especially in another language, is challenging. So you're not just having to give, good English, good vocabulary, but you have to do it in a short way. So it takes practice. Okay, Mizad? So practice speaking, and this is for pretty much everybody who volunteered today. So practice speaking in clear ways that are, shorter and connected. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Stick around for part 3, Mizad. That will be coming up in 30 minutes in the next class. Okay?
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Nice.
All right, Mizad, I will keep my fingers crossed that you get a great score on your IELTS exam now that you're done.
You.
And let us know how you did, okay?
Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much for all the help and support you have provided.
You
I really
are
appreciate it.
Very welcome, and I appreciate you coming back and sharing your experience. So thanks a lot, Mizad. Have a great weekend. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Take care. Have a great day, sir.
All right, that was Mizad. That was really cool, and we really enjoy when people come back and share their experiences with us. So good for you, Mizad, and I will keep my fingers crossed that you did an excellent job on your exam and you get a great score. You reach your score. All right, students, that's it for now. So we're using our website, aehelp.com, for this chat interface. Again, YouTube is limited. You only have text chat in YouTube. So we use our website. This is aehelp.com. For chatting with our students, and you can use this with each other as well. Okay, so not just talking with me, but practicing your speaking with other IELTS students. So make sure you go to aehelp.com, sign up for the premium package. Mizad used it or is still using it. You have lifetime access. You click this big red button to join us there. For the general IELTS, it's the same. It also has the student chat interface, and you join by clicking that big red button there. Students, I'm back in 30 minutes for speaking part 3, which will continue from speaking part 2 that we just did. So we're going to, of course, talk more about nature, talk about the environment. It's a very hot topic for the IELTS exam. Ghazi, you're very, very welcome. I appreciate your input and volunteering. Thank you, Zarina, for volunteering. Thank you, all of our members, for support. The next class will be an all-chat class. Everybody will be able to join both the volunteering and the chat in the YouTube. So until then, if you want to really get some more tips for fluency in the speaking section, check out our newest video that we just put up like 2 hours ago on YouTube. This is a new video. It's with a different examiner, but it's with me doing the lessons. So there's the link for the video in the chat. So while you're on break, grab yourself a tea, stretch your legs, drink some water, and check out that video. Get yourself ready. Use the subtitles for speaking part 3 that's coming up for us here in 30 minutes. I'll be back soon. Until then, take care, good studies, and see you shortly. Bye for now.